And now, live from Isolation Station in Burbank, California, it's the Plague Week 50 of the Allison Rosen is You Best Friend show. Tonight, Allison welcomes a guest. He's a comedian and writer whose approach to dating is as casual as getting a haircut. He just goes over to Supercuts and asks for whoever's there. It's Jordan Morris. And she's an actress, comedian, and podcast host who just got married in Texas, fulfilling her dream of having a wedding during a catastrophic Arctic freeze and chili cook-off. It's Jackie Johnson. Tone Zone is here to talk about his favorite new show to watch, his Dog Watch. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the Love Bus and say hello to your new best friend, Allison Rosen.
Allison Rosen, Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Allison, with her the good times never end. Allison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison Rosen, Allison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little vegan strawberry cupcakes. Welcome to another exciting Thursday show of the Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. That particular carbohydrate was sent in on Patreon by Anna Q. All sorts of fun stuff on Patreon. Daniel and I just did a bonus episode where we answered all sorts of questions, including tell me about the first time you met Bill Maher and the first time you met Drew and Adam, because I had met them years before. I ended up working with Adam on his show. And tell us who the meanest celebrities you are. I mean, we just spilled the tea, you guys. All sorts of stuff.
Ooh.
That's right. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen. I am very excited to catch up with my guest this week, one of whom has been to hell and back, but also has good news. And the other is Jordan Morris. Hello.
Hi. I'm doing pretty neutral, all things considering.
Yeah, I mean, I realized maybe you've also been to hell and back, but it sounds like you haven't.
Nah, I've been all right. I mean, obviously we're all experiencing our own personal little hell, but
right.
as far as this week having been more hellish than the last week, no, I think my level of hell has remained relatively consistent. And for that I am thankful.
That's good. You're like a little shot of stability in these uncertain times.
Yeah, just like cruising around at a nice C-.
It's really all you can hope for. And I am so delighted to see my next guest back in LA and not in the hell that is Texas. Welcome back, Jackie Johnson.
Yes, hello. I was just in hell, and spoiler alert, hell has frozen over.
I need to hear all about that. And also, but not only were you there in the midst of calamity, before that, before everything went sideways, you got married, and Tony and I attended your wedding, not together, but separately attended your wedding on Zoom, along with a lot of other friendly faces. Congratulations.
Thank you. Sorry,
yeah.
Jordan. Your Evite got lost in the email shuffle. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I was really busy attending like all these other Zoom weddings, so I mean, I probably wouldn't have been able to fit you in. Just
right,
because
I
of
understand.
all the Zoom weddings. I went to one; it was so fun. We all played Quiplash. And went to another one where we played another game of Quiplash. So fun. So I probably wouldn't have been able to squeeze it in. But thank you for thinking of me.
Yeah, just check that junk folder.
Honestly, knowing that we were going to talk about it, I had a debate about should everyone on this show have been at, and that's at in quotes, Jackie's wedding. And then I decided, no, we need someone to represent the audience point of view. And that's you, Jordan. You're the audience ombudsman. But wait, what is Quiplash?
Oh, it's like one of those Jackbox games that you can play like with a group over Zoom.
They're a good time.
Yeah, they're really, really fun. I like doing them. They're very like COVID 1.0, very like, April of last year, like people getting together and kind of playing these little party games on your phone. It seems like that people have kind of given up that, or at least the people in my circle have given up that, or they're doing it and not inviting me, like to a certain wedding I can think of. It's okay. I'm not actually mad. Not actually mad.
After my wedding, we played that robot rap game.
Oh,
What is
it's
that?
fantastic. It's a part
one
of the same
those
thing.
Same games, yeah. I don't know what it's called, but it's a good time.
I think it's called Robot Rap Battle.
There you go. Robot rap battle.
I think.
I haven't done. Is this like how I'm still sporting a side part and in theory wearing skinny jeans, except I don't like skinny jeans, so I only wear bootcut. But I mean, is this because I'm in the wrong generation to know what you guys are even talking about?
Have you been to any like Zoom birthday parties? They're all the rage, these games.
No, I haven't. Maybe that's the problem.
I was playing them well before the pandemic. They're a
Really?
good, they're good. Just like if you have some friends over or something in the old days. If you have the right people over, it's a fun time.
They're kind of in the same zone as like Cards Against Humanity, but like a little more creative and not as like edgelordy as Cards Against Humanity. It's a little more like fun and silly. It's like, they give you, or at least with Quiplash, they give you a little prompt, like, what's the worst thing you could say at a bat mitzvah? And then everyone kind of, comes up with their worst thing you could say at a bat mitzvah.
Right.
And then you kind of vote on what the funniest one is. So it's a good time.
I actually find, oh, wait a minute. I played a similar game at an actual in-person birthday pre-COVID, and I find there to be a lot of pressure. I like to be naturally, organically funny, but I feel this like, oh, let's have a contest to see who can. It just feels like let's all get together and write a bunch of packets or something.
Right.
Does it not feel that way to you?
Yes.
Yeah, like let's all get together and apply for Colbert together.
Right. Wait, but what are you said they're Jackbox games. Is that a brand of game?
It is, yeah. That's the brand that,
Got
and
it.
every couple months they'll come out with new Jackbox games. So I guess I have not played Robot Rap yet. Sounds like a lot of fun, but Quiplash is the one I've played the most.
You know a game I really enjoy and which I'm very good at, and this is an old game, and I'm forgetting the name, but you try to get someone to say the thing, but there's certain words you can't say. It's like password. Taboo, yes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan
love
of Taboo also.
Taboo, because that's like a fun one that's not a lot of pressure, but also I'm very good at it.
I associate the word taboo, and probably always will, with like late night HBO softcore movies.
Oh yeah, isn't there a softcore or like a hardcore about a sister and brother hooking it up called Taboo?
Oh, I don't know. That sounds.
think so.
I mean, all
That
the ones.
certainly sounds taboo.
Sure. All the ones I remember seeing as a kid, we had like one, we had like one summer where we had HBO before mom and dad stopped paying for it. And I feel like it was, it was a curious time for me. So I definitely was curious about what was going on HBO after mom and dad went to bed. And I feel like all the ones I saw were about an undercover cop that gets in too deep. Like an undercover cop that has to like be a stripper or, be has to like, hire a high class call girl, and then they like get in too deep. So I don't think I ever saw any sibling stuff anyway.
Well,
Maybe
Taboo.
that was all on Cinemax.
Taboo, 1980, pornographic. And yes, I did just type in taboo porn in the search field without even thinking about what I'm doing.
Wow. R.I.P. your search results.
I know. Taboo is a 1980 American pornographic film starring Kay Parker. It was written and produced by Helene Terry and edited and directed by Curdy Steve. Right. Because when I go to look up some info about a porn, I really just want to know who it was edited by. Come on. The film is the first of a series of 23 episodes to date. 23.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, if you can see, so patreon.com/Allison Rosen, you can get the video of this. I don't know. Oops, hang on. Can you read the words that it says?
Whoa.
Incest! Exclamation point.
Eesh.
23. It's like a Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, it's like
but for brother fucking.
like
I don't like that. That makes me feel really bad.
yeah. Did you read Flowers in the Attic?
Yes.
Yeah, that also had a fun incest plot.
Creepy.
Let me get this straight. Jackie, you are anti-incest? Is that correct?
I am going on the record as saying yes,
Hot take.
yes, I am.
All right. Bold, but I'll take it.
I don't want to change the subject from something so fun as incest, but I would be remiss if I didn't say hello and welcome to our own Tony Thaxton.
Hello. I did not recently get married, but I am still in hell.
Yeah, how's your week going? Because on the Patreon bonus episode, Daniel said that every day, he has a name for what every day feels like, and it's Quartles Day. I don't know why. But it's like every day just feels exactly the same. Like weekends feel like weekdays feel a little weekendy. It's all Quartles Day.
I will say I have a little. I am able to usually differentiate most days, and that's mostly because of deadlines for this show and other shows that I work on. So like that kind of helps keep me aware of what day it is. But beyond that, everything else is pretty goddamn similar. But I'm trying to mix it up. I'm like way late on this. Got myself a Nintendo Switch finally.
Ooh,
and so changing my day up with that a little bit. And yeah, so there you go.
Now, what does that one do? The theme of this show is Allison doesn't know stuff except for obscure porns. What does Nintendo Switch do versus like Nintendo Wii?
Well, it's
Wii
like
hasn't been
15
around for
years
quite
newer.
some time.
Yeah.
Wait, maybe that's not
now,
what
Tony, how is this different from the Atari 2600? How is this different than chasing a hoop with a stick?
Well, okay. In 2014, I decided I was going to get into video games. And we bought a Nintendo thing that had like a big... It had like a little controller-y thing, and then it had like a big like tablet. And was that a Wii? Because that was 26.
That was the Wii U.
Oh. Well, that's what I mean then. Does that make you still need to make fun of me?
Just a little bit less, but
Tony, play the gal chat drop.
All right. Let me rephrase the question. How does a Nintendo... Let me just ask the question. Tell me about Nintendo Switch. Better, right?
I mean, it's the newest system that they've put out. Came out a couple of years ago at this point, and it does come with a screen, like a tablet sort of thing as well. But you don't have to use that at all times. The controller's attached to that, but then come off of it, and that's sort of like becomes like a dock almost that you can then charge the controllers on. But so that you hook that up to the TV, but if you want, you can put those controllers back on the little tablet, and it can be like a portable gaming system as well.
And like, what games do you play on this? Is this where you would play... Like, let's say you have a 4-year-old. This is Daniel's idea. I feel like Daniel wants to get a Nintendo Switch and is saying it would be good for our kid. Let's say you have a 4-year-old who likes to like mess around on an iPad all day and doesn't really want to go outside. Would this be something active and fun for him?
I think it can be. Actually, a friend of mine was telling me about a certain game that is like a really intense workout, but it's like still a game. I don't remember what that's called, but it's got a lot of the Nintendo state. There's different Mario games and stuff. But and this is, I'm sure you've heard of Animal Crossing. That's been all the rage for the last year during this.
That's
what everybody's playing that on, and I'm a year late, but I've joined the Animal Crossing cult.
So now, don't you have to like post things like, does anyone have any rutabagas? Is that Animal Crossing?
Mm-hmm.
That is the thing people do. I have not done any of that yet, though.
Thank you. Well, congratulations, Tony. That sounds super cool. All right.
Hey, it's something during this time.
So I need to hear all about your journey, Jackie. Fill us in.
Okay, I mean, where do I even start? I went to Austin to elope, and we ended up getting snowed in and couldn't leave our hotel room, so we got married in our hotel room. So I basically flew to Austin just to get married in a hotel room, and then we got stuck in that hotel room for a week and couldn't leave. And while we were there, the hotel ran out of food and water, so the hotels are rationing food and water to us.
Oh my gosh.
And we finally escaped, and I got on the fastest plane I could out of that godforsaken hellhole, and I'm back in LA, and I'm warm, baby. I'm warm.
What was the plan? Like had the Texas snow / shit storm not happened?
Yeah.
What were you going to do?
So we decided that we were going to elope in Texas because the most people that were going to attend live in Texas. We're only invited our siblings and our parents, but I have like 75 branches of broken family. So everyone's in Texas other than us and my now husband. It's so weird to say that. My husband's family on the East Coast. So I was like, where's somewhere we can
How about
elope?
those in-laws, am I right?
Oh, right.
Ooh, boy,
Oh,
in-laws.
They're actually really cool. Y'all would love them.
They sound cool.
But
They're
anyway,
great.
so I found this like kooky little chapel up in Hill Country in Austin, and I was like, that's the perfect place. Let's elope there. We planned it all, and it was only going to be like 15 people total. And then because COVID got really intense, a couple months ago, we scrapped that and we said it's just us and my sister and one of Ben's friends. And so that was the plan. And then the week leading up to it, the forecast started getting really cold. And we were like, oh shit, we're going to be cold up there. And then it started getting like really, really cold, like 12 degrees. And I was like, I don't think this is going to work. And then all of a sudden they were like, oh, it's going to snow. So we had to give up on the whole plan. And we rerouted the wedding to a temple. And then we rerouted the wedding to a different temple. And then that temple lost its power. And then we literally had like 14 different backup venues planned. But it got to the day of and like nobody could even drive. So it was a real mess.
Yeah. Like, how was your mood during all of that? Because wedding planning is super stressful, and here's like a whole heap of stress on top of that.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I've been married once before, and I remembered that it was horrifically stressful. But I was like, oh, this will be different because this is like actually the person I want to marry. And like, I'm older now. I've been through this before. It can't be that bad. This was 10,000 times more stressful than the first one. I mean, it was, but you know how things, basically everyone out there listening who's been married or plans on being married or plans on having a wedding, you put way too much pressure on this like hour-long period of time. You spend a year planning this 2-hour-long period of time, and things are inevitably going to go wrong. They just are. You put way too much pressure on this certain amount of time. So things started going wrong pretty quickly. Like literally, half my face is frozen still. I have like a weird facial thing that happened, and then like my hair extensions weren't the right color, and then it just all spiraled out of there.
Wow.
It started with the palsy.
Yeah, it started with the palsy. Now we're here. Started with the palsy.
Always
now
a
we're
banger.
Here,
When that comes on in the club, I gotta hit the dance floor. When that song comes on.
I'm telling you, I move to it. This side of my face doesn't, but the rest of me moves.
I'm curious. You described your initial venue as a kooky little chapel.
Yeah.
What was kooky about it? Was
So
it like
everybody needs
Pee-wee's
to
Playhouse?
Google this. Yeah. So it's called Chapel Dulcinea. It's an open-aired Spanish chapel, and we were going to have a Jewish wedding in it. And it's also owned by a mysterious group called the Wizard Academy.
Ooh.
Now, we don't know what the Wizard Academy is. On the website, it says, we are not a cult. But it doesn't specify anything else.
Good enough for me. That almost certainly means they are a cult.
I mean,
Right.
Not to say that you're not.
I don't know what they are, but all I know is they are very stingy with their refund policies. Literally, go on Yelp.
Wow.
People are like, my wife got hit by a train. She's dead. They won't let me get a refund. I mean, they're very strict about the refunds. I couldn't get a refund, even though I literally couldn't get to the venue because of snow. Those wizards, they have tight purse strings.
They will not give you a full refund, but they will pull a quarter out of your ear.
Yes, I hope so. That would at least be exciting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
This statue that's in their forest/garden frightens me. It's like the skinniest, most willowy blonde lady who also looks like she was just like pulled out of an alien's egg or something.
That looks like me after I left my hotel room after being stuck in it with no food for a week.
I was actually going to say there's kind of a Jackie Johnson willowy vibe going on here, but she's
Look.
yeah, she's also like part tree trunk. Remember when we were? I don't know if it was Jackie or Jordan. It was definitely one of you. Was on an episode where I was trying to remember. I think Helen was on the episode too. I was trying to remember the name of a movie that involved druids.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah.
It was you. Okay.
Yeah.
And I actually did remember, but now I've forgotten. Was it The Guardian? I think it was The Guardian.
I don't
Does that ring a
remember.
bell for anyone? Was it Rebecca De Mornay?
I don't know.
To me, that statue looked
no.
like someone being pulled into the dimension from Annihilation, if anybody's ever seen that movie. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's what that reminded me of.
I think Rebecca De Mornay, was in maybe she was in The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, and we kept saying Hand That Rocks the Cradle, and it wasn't that. I think
Although I just searched Rebecca De Mornay Druid movie, and the first thing that came up was The Guardian.
Okay, so it is The Guardian.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
weird.
there we go.
I searched it in that incest movie. So
So, Jackie,
Yes.
your wedding from where I sat in my office, no bra, no makeup, with my camera off, not realizing that everyone else was going to dress up and turn their camera on, was so heartwarming and sweet. And I was so happy for you, and you guys looked so beautiful, and it was just like so lovely, and I loved it. And it really, because I could see the other people attending, many of whom, like I said, dressed up, it really felt communal. And I was like, oh my God, this could be a new way to do weddings, where you can have this huge wedding and there's all these people attending virtually. I really was surprised at how much I felt like I had gone to and like when you guys wanted everyone to dance, Daniel and I stood up and danced, and Elliot came in, and it was, I don't know, it was just like I felt like I'd been to a wedding that day. I was wondering for you though, from where you were, how was the experience of having a Zoom wedding?
I mean, I really pretended nobody was there. So I didn't really know what was going on the Zoom at all. But I got a ton of good feedback. Again, sorry, Jordan. I know you didn't get invited. I got a lot of feedback.
Probably couldn't have made it.
Hang on. Earlier you said his invitation must have gotten lost. Now he wasn't invited.
Right.
Well, by
thank
that
you,
I
Tony.
meant I filtered it into his spam folder on purpose.
It's okay.
We're cool. We're
It's
cool.
okay. We're cool. You
We're
don't need
cool.
to keep. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But I got a lot of great feedback. I mean, people were like, that was top 5 best weddings I've ever been to. You know, a lot of people sort of said what you said, which is like, this is the new way to wedding. Because apparently the chat was lit. People were laughing and making jokes. And it's like, that's something that you can't do at a real wedding. You can't make comments. You can't cheer on people. You can't, a lot of my friends are very funny, successful comedians. And I guess they had everybody, laughing. And listen, I'm happy everybody had a good time. Even though it was Zoom, I still had the anxiety of, oh my God, I don't want everybody to be bored. I don't want everybody to be hating this. So all in all, it was a success. I hired a professional Zoom wedding coordinator.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Yeah, wasn't he great?
Yes. I didn't know that was someone who was like, that's his thing.
I
That's
wondered
his
what
thing.
his deal was. Yeah.
He's great. I mean, honestly, that's a new profession for somebody out there. Like,
Jeez,
become
yeah,
a Zoom wedding coordinator, because he ain't cheap.
We're all
and he did
pivoting. We're all
great.
pivoting a little bit.
Wait, how did you find him? You just Googled that?
No, I went, in quotes, to another wedding, and I was like, this is so well done. There were multiple angles. There were cut-in videos. There was a song. There was, they had breakout rooms that served as wedding tables. I mean, it was so fun. And I texted them a few days later, and I was like, hey, who did that? And she was like, oh, you got to get Michael. You got to get Michael. And I did. I got Michael.
I enjoyed Michael. Tony, I just hit the mic because there was a piece of fuzz, and I just slapped it away by slapping the mic.
Okay. Cool.
I thought I would stop the show and let you know.
Did Michael perform the ceremony? Did he?
No. He was just sort of the liaison with everybody on the Zoom. And then he helped us with the camera angles. We did a rehearsal with him where we had like the 2 angles and we had little marks where we stood, and he would control the cameras. So like when I was doing my vows, it would cut to like Ben's face, so you could see him. And he just like controlled the whole thing.
That's smart.
Made sure everybody's mics were off so I didn't have any hecklers, things like that.
Yeah.
And your vows, Jordan, I don't want to make you feel left out, but
No, we don't.
He's
need
the
to,
audience, remember?
oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying hearing about it now. My heart is being warmed. So yeah, I'm loving it. Yes, tell me everything.
She sang many different songs in her vows, like bits of different songs. It was so good.
Like a mashup, like Girl Talk.
And it was so entertaining. It was
Somebody,
like a jukebox performance.
somebody referred to it as
entertaining.
cabaret vows, which I appreciated.
wow.
Yeah. But like, as Daniel said that night, he's like, he's like, you know what I find really heartwarming and I'm so amazed by? Like Jackie's ability to just get up there and sing. Because I think Daniel, so we've talked about this. He was in the Tucson Boys Choir, which is like this, but he doesn't sing all the time, but I feel like inside him there is someone who would like to sing but doesn't give him permission.
That's so interesting. I didn't know that about Daniel.
Me neither.
I know.
Let's get him out here.
Yeah.
What was his big like number in the Tucson Boys Choir? Does he have like a
So he was the youngest touring member of the Tucson Boys Choir, and they did some it was like Western themed, and I think they did something with ropes. I don't know. Should I try to get him out here?
I want to know what songs they sang.
too.
Anyway.
Okay. I'll see if I can get him to come out. Can you come out?
Maybe do a couple bars. I don't know.
Your presence is requested. But I misspelled requested. Yes. So while I wait to hear from him, Jackie,
Yes.
tell us about these cabaret vows and how you put them together.
I mean, honestly, again, I've been married before, and my vows to my first wedding were so good. Like, I worked so hard on them, and they were beautiful. And I had extra pressure because, number one, my whole family's already sat through these once. You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah.
I'm on borrowed time. And number two, I've used a lot of my good material. And I said to myself, I'm not recycling one line. This has to all be new.
That's a
You know?
high bar.
It's a high bar.
Because love, what am I trying to say?
Is good.
Love is good.
Because
Love is good.
Because love is
I have that
good.
tattooed on my lower back.
Yes, that's what I mean to say. No, what I mean to say is like when you feel overwhelmed with love, the same words tend to be attached to it.
Yes. I had to really find new, and it wasn't that hard, but part of me was like, damn it, those last vows were so good. I could have just done like a find replace and like really, what obviously I didn't want to do that. It worked out though, because I started writing my vows like basically a year and a half before we were even engaged, or like I started writing. We'd only been dating like 6 months when I started writing them. So I had an idea to sort of pop in lyrics because Ben and I both sing, and like it worked out great because in his vows he said how my voice is his favorite sound. And then while we were getting ready, or we were like eating avocado toast, this was before the hotel ran out of food, he started playing this like joke song that I wrote last year. It's about being in the back of my mom's truck, because when I was little, my mom literally never let me ride in the front of the truck. I literally rode everywhere in the back of the truck. And I was like, why are you playing that? And he's like, I just love to hear you sing. And in my head, I'm like, you'll be hearing me sing later, honey. You didn't know.
Is that your singing voice?
Yes.
Hang on.
Ooh, so beautiful.
Thank you.
Look who it is.
I think so. Can you hear?
I don't know. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey.
Are you sure? Am I
Okay.
going to just use your mic?
Yeah, you can just use my mic. Daniel has joined us.
I
Now,
have.
Daniel, you came up because I said we were talking about Jackie's wedding and how heartwarming her vows were with her
so
singing.
nice. Oh my god.
And I said that given that you were in the boys' choir, I said that you said something like, it's so heartwarming that she can just get up there and sing. And then I commented that you were in the boys' choir. And I think that maybe there's a part of you that needs to give yourself permission to sing. And then there's a lot of questions about boys' choir.
We want to know some of your hits. What were some of the big songs that you used to sing? Like your big solo number? Or...
My solo number. The only solo I ever had was I had a line in what was that musical song with the baseball? It was
Take Me Out to the Ball Game?
no
With the
Damn
baseball.
Yankees. I had a line in a song from Damn Yankees, and I'm blanking on it now.
I'm unfamiliar with that musical.
Oh. Sorry, my brain went to the late 80s band, The Damn Yankees.
No.
I was like, that seems like a weird choice.
Yeah, they had a whole jukebox musical. They were huge.
No, I didn't. I didn't have a voice of an angel. I had the voice of a a minor angel.
A just okay angel.
Yeah, I did barbershop quartets and stuff, but I didn't do cool as fuck.
What was your little outfit like?
My little outfit. We had actually, Jordan, we had several act changes during the show.
Ooh.
We would start with our robes because we do a religious set of classical music, and then
And then you rip off those robes, and underneath were street clothes.
sequined underwear. And we had like tuxedo shirts for the musical section, and then at the end, we put on our Levi's and cowboy boots, and we would do the Western section. It sounds perverted, but
No, it sounds like a
quite innocent.
journey through the halls of music history.
The Tucson Boys Choir, yeah.
Now, Daniel, this ragtime cowboy song that you and your mom know that I had never heard of until you guys sang it, was this a boys' choir song?
No. Ragtime Cowboy Joe?
I know it.
Yeah, Jackie knows it. Why
It's
is
a
this thing
camp
tipping?
song.
Yeah, that's just a kid song.
I'd love to hear a few bars of Ragtime Cowboy Joe. I could like clap along.
Was I
or
just
play
brought
the
out here to
spoons
sing,
or
for God's sake? God damn. It was like, he always sings rag music to the cattle as he swings. You don't know it. To the Cowboys? He doesn't sing to the Cowboys.
He is a cowboy.
As he swings back and forward in his saddle on a horse.
A pretty good horse.
That is syncopated, gated, and there's such a funny meter to the roar of his repeater. How they run when they see the come. I don't remember that word. The Western folk all know he's a highfalutin, rootin' tootin' son of a gun from Arizona. Ragtime cowboy, talk about your cowboy. Ragtime cowboy Joe.
Do you know the movements to it?
I don't.
There's movements like he's riding, and then you like the whole song. You're just,
Oh,
like,
look at
clapping and
that.
stuff.
Jackie, can we
Yeah.
see it, please?
Well, I don't remember
Patreon.com.
it. We learned this in camp in 5th grade. I don't remember, but I know there's like you're riding the horse, and then you like and a syncopated gator as he sets a funny meter to the roar of his repeater. How he rides, you can hear the na-na. There's like a whole thing.
Well, look at that.
We're gonna have to go on YouTube, and I'll learn it.
Yeah, I mean, Tony, with your music production skills, could you put like a trap beat behind that?
Yeah,
Oh,
do
yeah,
a little
yes.
auto-tune.
So it sounds like Cher singing it.
I think you got a banger on your hands.
But Jackie, your wedding was beautiful, and one thing that I was thinking about later is like, there's people spend so much time and money on venues, and it was totally unnecessary. Like it was like it didn't even matter where you guys were. It was really, really nice, and thank you for letting us be part of
Oh, I'm so happy you were there. I will say the venue ended up costing us a lot because we were trapped in the presidential suite of a very nice hotel for a week. So it actually was a pretty expensive venue. But the Wizard Chapel was only $400, and I did not get a
Oh,
refund.
wow.
That's a steal.
This was the original location
Oh,
that
wow.
they wanted to get married at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
thank
so
you-
happy y'all could come.
Thank you, Daniel, for letting us have you sing.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hope to see
We
you
want to
in
hear more
person-
music.
person soon.
Oh, I remembered one of the dance moves. When he goes just back and forth down the saddle of his horse, you go, a pretty good horse. A pretty good
Yeah.
horse.
There's
Yeah.
like all this.
like a va-va-voom
Yes.
hourglass shape?
Yes. Which
Is
is
the
this some kind of
implication-
bestiality thing?
Yeah, boy, we're really going down the rabbit hole of
Very
odd
taboo
sexual
episode.
behavior. Yeah, it's very taboo.
There's all this call and response in it. Like,
Yes.
yeah. Like the talk about your cowboy, I feel like jazz hands go with that. Yeah, I had never heard this song, but you can't live in Tucson without knowing this song. Or Texas, I guess. Is
Yeah.
that where you were in 5th grade, Jackie?
Yeah, I was in 5th grade in Texas.
Now I know. Do you guys know one of my favorite songs that I learned as a child, What Do You Do with a Drunken Sailor?
Yes, of
Ugh,
course.
beautiful. Well, sea shanties kind of
Very
came
on
back
trend.
kind of came back for a minute, right?
I didn't realize that was a sea shanty, along with my side part and theoretical skinny jeans and not knowing about Nintendo or anything the young people are doing. I was aware that sea shanties were coming back, but I didn't have any details.
Yeah, it was, and again, I don't know too much about it either, but I do know that it was like a TikTok trend, people doing sea shanties.
Right.
And again, I think it was a thing where it like was in a very small corner of TikTok, but because of its NPR friendliness, it became like an NPR story, like, now on, coming up next on Morning Edition, teens on social media are turning to old folk music. Like, so then, like, I heard about it. So I think, like, if you talk to an actual teenager, they're like, what the fuck? I didn't see any of that. But I think to a very specific portion of TikTok, there was a couple weeks where the shanty was
had a moment.
The banger du jour.
I didn't realize that Drunken Sailor was a shanty.
It's a shanty.
I can play
it's a
that
total
or
shanty.
at one point. Was it like a shanty? I just did my hands in the hourglass.
Va va boom.
I just did. No, we already talked about the fact that I just did that. What I was going to say was I used to be able to play said shanty on the recorder. I would like to think it could come back to me.
Yeah,
You could get that going on TikTok.
I know. I should. You know what else I could get going is Soul Cycle. If you're like me, you're missing your workout routine and your favorite fitness instructors. There are at-home alternatives, but they're just not the same. However, if you're looking for an experience that makes you feel like you're back in class, moving to your favorite instructors, to heart-pounding playlists, and by that I mean Jordan, and by that I mean Tony. Moving with your favorite instructors to heart-pounding playlists, you need to check out the Soul Cycle at-home bike. The Soul Cycle at-home bike converts your home into a Soul Cycle studio. The 21-inch touchscreen houses a revolutionary sound system that was specifically engineered for this bike and Soul Cycle's iconic playlist. With unlimited access to live and on-demand Soul Cycle classes, you can clip in with your favorite instructors and be transported to the front row of the studio on your schedule. Your monthly membership also gives you unlimited access to the Equinox Plus app. That's like my favorite part of it, where you can stream classes from other top tier brands like Equinox, Rumble, and Pure Yoga. You can get your Soul Cycle at-home bike in just 1 to 3 weeks, and they have financing options available to make attaining goals achievable. So it's great, and it's like very motivating, and you do it on your own schedule. All the other classes you have access to is just something great on top of something great. Get your Soul Cycle at-home bike today by visiting mysoulcyclebike.com/bestfriend and use promo code bestfriend to get a free pair of at-home select cycling shoes with your purchase. That's mysoulcyclebike.com/bestfriend, promo code bestfriend to get a free pair of cycling shoes with the purchase of your Soul Cycle at-home bike. mysoulcyclebike.com/bestfriend, promo code bestfriend. I also want to tell you guys about CBD MD. March is National Sleep Month, and it's right around the corner. As the official CBD of a good night's sleep, our good friends at CBD MD want to give you everything you need to enhance your nighttime routine and get the better sleep you deserve. CBD Bath Salts fuse superior CBD with a mixture of Epsom, Dead Sea, and Himalayan salts to turn any bathtub into a luxury spa experience. Choose from lavender or eucalyptus scents. I can't choose between them. I like them both. Or a soothing nighttime blend with melatonin and calming herbs. While CBD PM blends 500 milligrams of high-quality CBD with melatonin, valerian root, chamomile, and other sleep-promoting ingredients to create a powerful sleep aid. I like all of these. I mentioned they have this roll-on pain relief thing called, I always forget if it's Relieve. It's Relief or Relieve. And my arm was sore from all of my vigorous vacuuming. Not a euphemism, truly. With my cordless vacuum, I had it up in the air, and then I was like, oh my God, it hurts so bad. And then I put this stuff on, it has lidocaine in it, and it felt so much better. And the sleep stuff, I always have trouble sleeping, but this stuff helps. To make it even easier to relax, regroup, and recharge, they're offering all our listeners 25% off your next order when you use the promo code Allison at checkout. Once again, that's cbdmd.com, promo code Allison, for 25% off your purchase of superior CBD products from CBDMD.
That's a good deal.
Okay, and we're back. So, Jackie.
Yes.
I am wondering now, when Austin froze over, when the hotel ran out of food and water, I mean, we texted a little bit. I know that you were nervous because you had to wait in lines with people who weren't wearing masks. But like, what was that experience like? I have, knock wood, luckily I've never experienced shortages like that. It sounds like it would be scary.
It was scary and very stressful. And the whole time I just kept thinking, we're the lucky ones because we had power. And that was the reason that the hotel was so full, was because a lot of people in Austin that lost power checked into hotels. And I don't know, but I'm pretty sure the hotel sort of threw their COVID policies out the window in order to house as many people as they could.
Right.
It was packed. And this hotel allowed dogs. There were 1 million dogs. They were everywhere. I mean, it was like, and you'd go outside and there was dog shit everywhere. And I was like, y'all can't even pick up your dog shit. It just shows you, like, when shit goes down, people get really desperate and anxious, and I think it just brought out a lot of that in people. But it was gnarly. Like, standing in line to get rationed food during your mini moon was definitely not part of my plan, but it was very stressful, and I was very hungry. I don't eat anything anyway, so it was just really hard. They had no food I could eat. I mean, they literally were like, we have 3 things to offer. We have barbacoa tacos. We have a beef sandwich. And I was like, I can't eat any of this.
Because you're vegan.
Yeah, and even if I was like, it's an emergency, I'll eat it, it would fuck me up so bad. Like, I would literally have diarrheaed it all out. It wouldn't even be worth eating.
Where when you say you're standing in line, is this like, you know, at the hotel restaurant? I guess I'm trying to picture where you are.
Yeah, so the hotel, no staff could come, and a lot of the staff left, I guess, before, so they were really short-staffed. The only people working there were actually staying in the hotel.
Because the roads were completely shut down,
yes.
right?
Austin, Texas in general, Austin has no snow trucks. They have no ice trucks. They have no plows. They were completely ill-prepared for this. Normally, most people listening that live in, like, cold states are like, yeah, it snows all the time. It's not a big deal. But this was a big deal because the city literally did nothing. You would look outside and you couldn't even see roads because the snow had covered the entire downtown grid of Austin, and you couldn't even tell what a road was. So nobody could come, nobody could go. They couldn't get shipments, so they couldn't get their food orders. There was one poor guy working in this, like, cafe in the lobby of the hotel, and he had the hard job of telling people, the only thing we have to eat are these 3 items. You can only order 1 item per guest, and we have nothing else. And I would go down there, and there would be a line across the entire hotel, and nobody was socially distancing. A lot of people didn't have masks on. There were people sipping their coffee 3 feet away with no masks on. And I'm like, the nerve of these fucking people to just be down here during this situation, sipping their coffee with no mask. And I don't know. I'm like, maybe they were vaccinated. I don't know. But the hotel they weren't, you know, getting mad at people or doing anything, I guess, because they were like, we don't have anybody to enforce this. We're short-staffed. This is a dire situation. So I was literally, like, risking my own life to stand in line to get food that I couldn't even eat. It was really stressful. I'm not gonna lie, it was shitty. But I kept saying, we're lucky we have power. I mean, my parents didn't have power for 6 days.
Oh my God.
They sat in a cold house for 6 days. Imagine having a baby. Imagine your baby's not having heat. People's
or food if you're not breastfeeding.
Were icing over in their house.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a complete disaster for so many people. I have family members, 2 different family members, water pipes burst in their house and flooded their house. And they now have to move out. I mean, it's just everything. It was just a mess. It was a total mess.
And then you said that they were running out of water. Like, did you have drinking water?
So, okay, eventually they told everybody in the city of Austin to not drink the water because the water treatment centers lost their power. So they weren't working. So they put out like a citywide mandate, nobody drink your water. So then we couldn't drink the water. So they were rationing bottles of water to guests at the hotel. They were giving you one per guest per room.
But
One bottle.
eventually, because I saw some photos, like eventually Ted Cruz brought everybody water.
Oh, yeah. He did. Yeah, he
That's
did.
great. That's
It was
great.
seawater
Great
from
dude.
Mexico in jugs. And we couldn't drink it.
He brought everybody a Senior Frogs t-shirt.
One bottle per room per person per day?
Yes.
Like what, 12, 16
A
ounce?
little
or-
bottle. Yeah,
Because
like a regular bottle.
Did you see? I just think I would start to panic. I'm not painting a portrait of myself as someone who's like great in the end times. And maybe I wouldn't be, or maybe I'd find some grit I'm unaware of. But I just think I would start to panic.
No, I wanted out so bad. I was like, I'm never coming back to this godforsaken city. As many people are, sometimes we're like, should we move to Austin? I feel like that's like the new thing everybody in LA is
Yeah.
like, should we move to Austin? We were like,
I have literally thought that 14 times.
oh yeah,
since
I mean,
2020.
we've been house hunting, and we looked at 2 horrific houses yesterday, and I'm just like, maybe we'll move to Austin. And Ben was like, oh, let's look at houses while we were there.
Hell no.
But no, I'm never going back to Austin. I'm never going to buy a house there. Like, it just soured me on the whole. And it's not the city's fault. It's the state, as we all know now, like the privatized power grid and all that. But no, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And again, we had it okay. We were in a penthouse suite of a hotel.
Right.
It could have been worse.
And you had food for Chuchi?
Chooch never even knew anything was wrong because I brought her food.
Protect Chooch at all costs.
Yes.
What was the vibe among all the people packed in? Was there a sort of like, we're in this together feeling at all? Or was it like, I'm going to turn into a cannibal?
I would say half and half. Like, it's hard because most of us had masks on, so it's hard to like give people the look, But I remember like this one guy was just sitting in this crowded area where we're all trying to get our, bun of the day. And he had no mask on. And he walked over to throw something away, and I literally like
Moved
backed
away?
up. And the woman next to me who had a mask on, she goes, I'm with you. And I was like, how fucking rude is this guy, And so like, I'd say half and half. Mm-hmm. Everybody was doing their best. I mean, I stood in line in the snow for an hour to go to this like little grocery store the last day we were there because I had gotten word it was open. An hour outside in 25-degree weather. And I hate
Gross.
cold. But they were like, you can only buy one bag of groceries, and the shelves were bare. I mean, it was like early COVID days all over again.
Yeah.
But luckily, nobody wanted the vegan food, so I got me some tofurkey. I got me some vegan cheese. I got back to the hotel, and I'm like, just gobbling everything up. I'm like, vegan cheese. I'm home, baby.
Were they price gouging or anything?
Oh, I don't think they were, but I've never. This is saying a lot because I shop at Erewhon and shit. Mm-hmm. My bag of groceries was $125.
Wow.
And a jar of salsa was $8. A bag of
Damn.
chips was $8. I was like, what is going on here? I think it's just like one of those like artisanal groceries. But I don't care. I paid it. I mean, we spent so much money. We lost our refund on our mini moon. We were supposed to go to the spa resort. We couldn't get there. We tried and we slid down the highway. We slid down a hill and like it was a nightmare.
Oh,
and they
geez.
were like, "Sorry, no refunds."
Are you planning to do like makeup stuff? Like, do you have a honeymoon down the line post vaccination? Are you going to
Nothing
have like
planned
the
yet. I mean,
wedding party that you couldn't have?
Yeah, nothing's planned yet. Ben wants to throw like a big party. I just don't know if we're going to, honestly. I would like to, but we spent so much money on this fucking wedding. And it was only because all this shit kept going wrong, and getting stuck in that really expensive room.
This is a gross question. Do you regret going?
I mean, if I had known it would have been an ice storm, I would not have gone. Obviously. Nobody saw that coming. I mean, this was like a once-in-a-generation ice storm that like completely screwed over and ruined a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
So, I can't really say. I didn't. If somebody had told me, hey, it's going to be an ice storm, I probably would not have gone for sure.
Right. I do wonder what people with little kids or babies, how they fare. I mean,
they just put a ton of blankets around them.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare. It was truly a nightmare. I hope that everybody in Texas that experienced this really pays better attention to their local government and elections, because this all came down to decisions that had been made about how to run the state that nobody was realizing would really affect us if something bad happened.
Right. I know so many people who moved to Austin. I wonder how they're doing. I mean, I'm sure Joe Rogan was fine, but like, I know other people too. I don't know who moved to Texas, at least. I don't know. Crazy. And I also was thinking from a COVID standpoint, everyone packing into other people's houses couldn't have been good.
Oh yeah, the pandemic added like another lens of chaos on this already really horrific experience. I was so scared. I had 2 N95s on. You know, I was doing like everything I could to be safe, but like I was in an elevator with so many people. That all went out the window. The whole nobody in the elevator at the same time. Nope, there was way too many people. We were on the top floor. Everybody had to take their dogs in and out.
Right.
It was just so scary, and it was bad. It was bad. But I'm home. And
when did you know, like, oh, I can go home now? Like,
so we were looking at the weather. It's so wild. I'm telling you, Austin has a reputation for having really kooky weather, and I know that because I went to college there, and it's wild. Like, I remember walking to class in like a river of water, like a huge torrential downpour, and then the next day it was like boiling hot. Like, it's just that's what it's known for. It was 70 degrees on Sunday in Austin.
Yeah, it was crazy
and it was
seeing the
freezing
pictures
on Thursday. So we just followed the weather. As soon as it showed that the snow was going to melt, which was Friday afternoon, we booked a flight out Friday evening, and we got the fuck out. And here I am, baby, on the other side.
Jordan, what's your temperament like in emergencies like this?
Boy, I don't know. I am such a soft boy. I don't think I've ever been in any peril like this.
But I think we all are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this really is one of those things that we have never been that inconvenienced before.
Yeah, I don't know. And I've never as I've lived in California basically my whole life, although I was born in Beaumont, Texas, but we moved to Orange County pretty soon after that. So yeah, I've never even had to deal with like unpleasant weather. Like where I went to college in Santa Cruz, it like got a little windy. So yeah, I don't know. And I think like we've kind of been, talking about like, I think like a lot of LA people, I'm like, do I need to live here? Like, maybe not. Maybe I'll look around for a place where my money could go a little bit further. But yeah, I don't know if I could handle weather. I might just cry or freeze to death taking out the garbage or something.
Jordan, where have you? I didn't realize you've been, although it makes sense because we've all been thinking, do we need to live in LA? What places cycle through your head when you think of maybe leaving?
Oh, God, this is actually funny. I was thinking about you today because I've been thinking about, like, oh, do I need to live in LA? But also I've been thinking about like moving within LA just because I thought like just like, oh, maybe it's a good way to start the like post-vaccine world, start a little fresh, and my place doesn't have air. So I'm like, well, this summer will probably be unpleasantly hot, so maybe I should move into my first apartment with air conditioning.
Do it.
And I was looking at some places in beautiful downtown Burbank.
Oh, nice. Come be my neighbor.
Home of the Allison Rosen Show. So it would be funny because we, lived so close to each other in West Hollywood.
That's right.
And then to become Burbank buddies.
Do it. I am a big fan of Burbank and a big fan of air conditioning. Like,
yeah, I want it.
I want it so bad. I can't. Do you want it so bad you can taste it?
Oh, yeah. Ooh, air conditioning, the ultimate taboo. Ooh, I want that filthy recycled air blowing all over my face and in my fucking hair. Oh, I want that air.
So dry. Yeah, I think episodes 15 through 17 of the 23 episode series are about the air conditioner. It's about the repairman, actually. Someone want air conditioning?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Need me to fix your box. Yeah, no, I have been looking at Burbank and was kind of curious what you thought about the Burbank life and what am I cut out for it? Is it soft enough for a soft boy like me?
Yeah, it's pretty soft. The only thing is, I don't know if you're looking for the kind of nightlife that our old neighborhood provides. But are you?
No, I don't think so. I'm excited to go back to a bar, at some point. But Burbank has those. Burbank has a great dive bar scene. I feel like their local dumps are some of the best in LA.
I don't think I've been to the local Burbank dumps.
You guys are talking about Tin Horn Flats, right?
Oh, Tin Horn Flats. Their owner is a big QAnon anti-mask.
Oh, I know. That's
that's right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah,
it was a joke.
Before I knew that, I would have happily hung out at Tin Horn Flats.
I had actually been to Tin Horn Flats before I knew that only non-sheeple are allowed.
Right, yeah. Only independent thinkers are allowed at this fucking Western-themed bar with saloon doors. On your street, Joe's All-American Bar and Grill is a fucking blast. They have live music. They have, swing dance nights. So we're all the, rockabilly
My band used
types.
to play there.
Really?
Yeah, my cover band. My 90s pop-punk cover band used to play there.
I didn't know you had a 90s pop-punk cover band.
Yeah, from 2016 to 2018.
Joe's is so much fucking fun. Yeah,
And I've never even been there.
What were your hit songs? What were your big numbers?
We did Blink and Fall Out Boy and Green Day and pop punk music that Tony actually plays real authentic music in that genre. So
yeah, I was gonna ask, is there any Motion City soundtrack on the set list?
there might have been at some point, as we kept evolving the set list for sure.
What were you guys called?
Punk Rock Barbie.
I love it.
Solid name. Also, I'm thinking about Burbank, but yeah, also I kind of I obviously have never been trapped there in an ice storm, but I've loved Austin when I've been to it. I've been feeling a lot of nostalgia for my college town, Santa Cruz. Mm-hmm. And I'm Santa Cruz, that'd be kind of fun. And I was kind of looking at places up there, and the fucking tech industry has torpedoed any chance I have of ever living in Santa Cruz.
It's
more expensive
so
than LA.
up there.
Yeah, I know. I feel like it would be nice to have a little hippie beach town to kind of retreat to. But no dice with Santa Cruz. It is it's Silicon Valley too, it would seem. But I think this Burbank thing could work out for me.
Well, I'm excited for you to be my new neighbor, even though it's funny. I'll find out that someone from out of town was in town, and for a second I'll think, hey, they didn't look me up. And then I'll think, but even if they did, even if they had, it's not like we would have seen each other because I haven't seen another human being in forever.
Yeah.
But, in post-vax world, Jordan, I'll be just knocking at your door, borrowing eggs and all sorts of stuff that neighbors do.
I've got all kinds of eggs. The eggs I'll have once I live in Burbank. I'll be going to the Studio City Farmers Market, getting some of those.
Yeah, shapely eggs. Jackie's doing the taboo shapely eggs. What about you, Tone Zone? Have you thought of wanting to move?
No, because I have lived in the Midwest. I've lived on the East Coast. I've lived on the West Coast, and I've been a million places because of touring. And this is exactly where I want to be. Nice. Much like Randy Newman, I love LA.
I just feel like everywhere sucks.
Yeah.
I had to go to the doctor today, and I was in traffic on Wilshire, and I'm man, LA sucks. And I was but at least it's not cold here. I mean, we all have our pluses and minuses,
Yeah, and it is expensive here, but I always say that you pay for what you get because there's a lot of really great stuff here that you don't get anywhere else.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. And definitely LA is so, has the ability to be so fun and so lively and so, so electric and so diverse and all this great stuff. And yeah, I guess it's it's easy to get down on it when you can't experience that stuff. You just realize, how much money you're sending your landlord every month.
I know, but also
But yeah.
at the same time, like with that thought, though, I keep having the positive side of that is at least we live somewhere that we can tolerate going outside right now, which is
Boy,
like the
no
one thing
fucking
we have.
kidding. I swam today, and if so there you go.
Yeah.
What did you
no
swim
kidding.
in?
At the Verdugo Aquatic Facility in beautiful Burbank. Yeah.
Tony, your attitude is so sunny. I don't know what to make of it.
I mean I gotta try. I gotta try because
Like
sucks.
what? This is. I don't mean to. I'm not trying to drag us down. It's just a genuine question. In terms of you pay for what you get. Like what? If you were to list all the things you like about, like what are some of the bonuses of LA?
well, the weather first of all, and there's just the fact that if pandemic excluded, anytime ever saying you're bored or you like not knowing what to do is ridiculous because there's a million things to do here. Like there's so many venues to go see a comedy show or a music show or whatever, and so many great restaurant, like every type of food you can imagine from around the world. I feel like we have good versions of that here, and then as to sound slightly gross as well, I feel like is someone who also works in music here and there. I get
That's
a lot
not
of
gross.
I get a lot of opportunities that I wouldn't get anywhere else.
Well, yeah. I mean, that is true. Like it's sort of moot right now, but I do always think if I were to move out of here, well, what would I do about podcast guests?
Yeah.
Because there's not going to be such a robust pool wherever you go, unless you go to Austin, in which case there might be. But
Unless you want to be on Zoom forever.
I mean,
I
that was
do
my
not.
thing. That was my thing. I was like, if we move to Austin, am I quote unquote giving up? Like, am I giving up on a traditional showbiz career?
Right.
And what would that look like? Because I, no offense, fucking hate doing Zoom podcasting. And I'm only referring to myself, like doing my show, Natch Boot, my podcast. I've been doing it over Zoom for a year and it sucks. Like, there is an intimacy and a rapport with your guests in person that I have not had in almost a year. And I'm like, if I go to Austin, is this going to be what I do every week? And Tony and I were just discussing off mic, editing a podcast over Zoom and like all the different microphones. And it sucks. I hate it.
Jackie, you could just interview Richard Linklater every week.
That's true. I could just ask him what cream he's using every night.
Yes. And my
That'd be
guest
fine with
for the
me.
49th week in a row, Richard Linklater.
He's back. He's back.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody from the old 97s just taking a whack at Austin.
Is that Rhett Miller?
Oh, I think he lives in L.A., so maybe.
Sandra
Yeah.
Bullock lives in Austin.
Okay.
You could get
I
her.
could get Sandy in there. I could get
She's good
Brooklyn
in
Deckers
everything.
in there.
Yeah.
Okay. I do think that once things normalize a little bit, we're all going to be fucking stoked on LA because it's great.
I think so.
I've been stoked on it at many points in my life. Most of the time I've lived here, I've been stoked on it, and I think that once we can enjoy.
Yeah. I also
Restaurants.
wonder if there are a good amount of people who have left / are leaving, and that might make it even more fun here because there won't be as many people on the
Oh
roads.
yeah, like when it's Coachella weekend,
Yes.
and you can just drive around and
Or
go into
during
any
the
restaurant.
holidays, like December in LA, great.
Oh, fucking yeah. Christmas Eve at a bar in LA is one of the most fun things in history. I love it. Anyway,
I do wonder if some of the people who left when and if life returns to normal, if they're going to be like, oh man, why did I do this? In fact, I think I saw a headline of like people who bought houses kind of in a
Yes.
rush who are now
that was a
regretting
really
it.
interesting article.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. You read more than just the headline. Okay, Jackie.
Okay, because it was about
Yes.
buying a house, and we were
the
trying to buy
body
a
of
house
the
like, all
article
year.
was interesting. I loved the body. The headline was okay. Oh, but the body of the article, mwah,
They really nailed the body.
the body
Was the body.
boom. Yeah, just a va-va-voom motion.
Jordan, you,
Yes.
speaking of NPR, which we spoke about earlier in the show, you did some hosting of Bullseye, right?
Oh yeah, my buddy and podcast co-host Jesse Thorne has an NPR show called Bullseye where he does like pop culture interviews. Does a great job with that, and like just periodically, when he's busy or on sabbatical or otherwise indisposed, I'll do a little guest hosting for him, and it's always a fucking blast. It's really like fun, and they like book such great guests on Bullseye. So
Did you? So that was that. So they interviewed, or they had already booked an Aquabats, a singer of the Aquabats, or was that? Because I assumed like, oh, that's a Jordan special.
Yeah, no, that's so funny. So I've done like a couple authors, a couple actors. I did Rose Byrne a couple months back. Good and everything. And a couple authors and things like that. The guy who wrote Annihilation, I did. Oh gosh, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the guy who wrote the book that Annihilation is based on. Anyway, so then they're like, "Are you down to do another Bullseye interview? We've booked the lead singer of the Aquabats, Orange County comedy ska legends, the Aquabats." And I think that the producer is just kind of a fan. I think the producer is like a '90s punk kid, so I think he's always kind of looking for an excuse to do those kinds of things. And I think he thought I would be game, and I was game. It was really fun.
That's cool.
He's a sweet guy, as you can imagine. And
yeah,
he's like a funny goofball. So it was neat. And it was fun to like tell him like, oh hey, like when I was a kid, your shows meant a lot to me. So that was a nice feeling.
Nice. So I have to tell you guys about this thing that happened today. Tell me what you think. I was making an appointment, and I'm purposefully leaving out the business that I like, what kind of appointment I was making, because this is a business that I've gone to for years. But I was making an appointment for a couple months from now, and I figured my choice was going to be Zoom or phone. Do I want a Zoom appointment, or do I want to just have a phone call? But she said, okay, do you want Zoom, phone, or in person? And I said, oh, you're seeing people in person. And she said, we are, but just know we're not wearing masks.
What?
Weird.
I know. So I'm very confused by this. And
sorry, did I miss what it is? Is this a doctor's appointment? Is this a
No, it's not. I'm
something purpose. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm being vague on purpose. I don't really know why. I'm being vague though because
Is it an oil change?
No.
Yeah, those fucking anti-maskers at Jiffy Lube.
No, it's silly that I'm being vague because
you could have some personal privacy.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what?
Podcast.
Yeah. It's just it's an appointment where you go and talk to someone, but it's not therapy. It's not medical. It happens annually for many people around April. I really could say what it is, but
I know what it is.
I like this.
Yeah.
Is it the Easter Bunny? Are you going to go
yes.
tell the Easter Bunny what you want for Easter?
That can be done with masks. I'm so confused.
Right. So I am so confused. I guess what I'm driving at is, are they anti-maskers? Or are they, like, aren't they worried about other people's, like, okay, clearly they're not concerned with infecting other people, but aren't they worried about getting infected? Except that I think that that given the ages, I think that they might be vaxxed. But she didn't say we're vaccinated, so we're not wearing. The whole thing is baffling.
Was this an email?
No, it was on the phone.
I was going to say, why didn't you go, why don't you wear masks?
I was so taken aback. But then her computer system was down, so I've got to call back anyway. But I haven't called back yet.
I wish Helen was here to call them and ask, because this is fascinating.
I am so I tweeted something about it, a similarly vague tweet, but then someone wrote back, like, I'm not confused, I'm angry. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on anger delay. Like, I think because I have gone to them for years, so I just don't want to think these people that I've gone to for years, although there's like, not for political reasons, but I mean, I haven't gone to them for political reasons. That made no sense. I guess what I'm saying, like, they can still do their job regardless of what they believe. But I guess it's like, I don't want to think like, oh my God, What is it that you believe is going on right now?
You need to get to the bottom of this.
I do.
And also, it's a big deal to leave this genre of a place in your life. Like, I'm going to a different one because I'm married now.
Look at that ring.
I'm going to his April appointment. You know?
Why don't I know what this is? Why can't I figure this out?
Are you serious, Jordan?
Yeah, I totally don't know what it is.
Oh.
Anyway.
I think I figured it out.
I've been seeing the same woman in April for years. She knows all of my history.
Right.
All of my codes and numbers and things. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was
now
too
maybe
much.
I know what it is.
That was too much. Yeah.
That's okay. I don't know why I'm being vague. There's really no point in being vague.
No,
I'm not.
I can keep
Don't
some stuff
say what it is.
personal.
Everyone has
you
to
can have
figure it
a
out.
personal life.
But for some reason, it's weird. You know what it is? The reason I don't want to say is because obviously the April people know what business I'm in. And
The April people. That sounds like a 70s, like,
I know.
like a 70s conspiracy movie.
it really does. The April people, that's who they come in the middle of the night and they steal your soul. And then you have an awakening. Obviously they know what business I'm in, and I have seen them for years, and I wouldn't want them to hear this and hear me like shitting on them.
Right.
You
So
think they listen to your podcast?
I mean, no, not at all. But at the same time, what if they did? But if they did, they would still know I'm talking about them
then
now.
they need to let you know what's going on with these damn masks, honestly.
It's very
'cause I want to know.
That's
You
what
know-
I'm saying. It's very confusing.
I had I had something kind of like flip-floppy happen today when I was calling around for apartments. I found one in Burbank that I really liked by the Vons. You know that Vons?
I do know that Vons. Yeah.
It's by the Vons.
Wait, is it by a Vons or by a Pavilions?
It's by a Vons.
We have both. Okay.
It's in a little. It's where that karaoke bar used to be. Now it's like
Yeah.
a hot chicken place.
Yeah, and there's a an Italian restaurant over there too.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I know it. I know that one. Yeah.
So it's by there, and I called them. I'm like, oh, hey, I saw your apartment listing. Is there a time I can come check it out? And they're like, we'll forward you a link to a virtual tour. I'm like, okay. I'm like, can I come in, and is there any way to come look at it? They're like, no, there is no way to come look at it. And they were like very
Adamant.
firm in that we will not let anyone in to look at this apartment.
Interesting.
And it just seems so, because I mean, I get it. I mean, and I'm glad someone's taking it seriously, but it just feels weird to move into a place without having
Sight
like
unseen.
smelled it or
Yeah.
like listened in the courtyard for loud neighbors, Anyway, so I really like the look of the place online, but feel weird about moving into it without going in first. But maybe I'm being an anti-mask. I don't know. Maybe I'm being reckless. I don't know.
No, because I don't think you are. Because you could double mask and walk through with no one else there.
Yeah,
You know,
they could, like,
so-
leave a key or something.
I don't feel like you're being like, that's different than me making an appointment for making a face-to-face appointment and them saying, just know we're not going to be wearing masks.
That's so weird. Oh my god.
They have
Would
to be.
you-
It has to mean that I've got to ask next time. They've got to
Would
be
you-
vaccinated, right? Because otherwise they're endangering themselves unless they don't
No,
believe in it.
I don't listen. I've seen some crazy shit. Some people just don't care. Or they're over this and they're just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Would you go in person if they were doing masks? Like, would you be okay doing it in person? Or would you
I don't
automatically
know.
pick Zoom?
I mean, I've been to appointments with people and we just wear masks.
Yeah.
But you
I
can
mean-
do it over Zoom.
Yeah, I'd probably just do a phone call or something. I would be tempted in April to do it in person with masks.
Yeah.
Because like I said, given their ages, they probably are vaccinated or going to be vaccinated soon.
So they're elderly, your April people?
Well, I think it's 65 and up at this point, right? So
I don't
yeah,
think
they're
so in LA yet. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh.
I
I don't think they're 75. I think they are 65.
Yeah, my mom and stepdad are both in the 65 range, and they got it. So.
Right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they both got their second one. So we're
Yay.
like, oh, nice.
I mean, maybe you need to get some younger April people, not to be ageist, but like the laws are changing every day. You got to stay up on your shit,
Your woman that you left, is she young?
I haven't asked her age, but I would guess in her 40s.
That's hip and young.
She knows she knows everything. Every time I sit there every April, she goes, this is different now. We're going to have to do this instead. I'm like, I hear you. She's great, but I'm leaving her for love. I left a lot of things for love, you know?
Does every April person, and I like how we're still insisting on not saying it as
I love that. I love that we won't.
I'm back to not knowing what it is anymore. I thought I had figured it out, and I talked myself out of it.
Well, maybe this will give you a hint. Does every April person start their appointment by looking at your documents and going, so, how'd we do this year? I feel like, because I've gone to different April people.
Well, do they not know
now
before
I know
your
what it is.
appointment?
It's totally okay.
No, they usually don't, because I usually bring it in. I guess if I sent it ahead of time.
I send mine ahead of time, and then she goes, you did really well this year. You should be proud of yourself.
Well, it's sort of like when I used to go to cardio kickboxing classes, I would stay for the cool down at the end, even though they're always like, if you're in a rush, you can go. I'd stay for the cool down at the end, because the woman who would do it at the end would be like, it would end with her saying, give yourselves a round of applause. And like my soul needed that. So I need my April person to congratulate me on how I'm doing in the world.
I mean, listen, making your living off of a podcast is extremely difficult to do. So I think if you're doing that, you should be congratulated. And my April person agrees.
Thank you. Jordan, you know what we're talking about now, right?
I do know now.
What else went through your head?
Boy, I'm like, is this a gynecologist thing?
I was about to
know
say,
about?
we were talking about Brazilian waxing.
There you go.
In
Yes.
April, every month. All women go.
Every
Yeah.
April, you have to get the old April freshen up. The old April asshole.
Fresh.
Yeah. This is so funny because it's funny to think about, because maybe it's something else going on in your head. You're like, okay, like, if this person is an anti-mask QAnon weirdo, I just don't want to support them, because it's like Tin Horn Flats, you know. Like, I, even in a post-vax world, I won't go in there because I know that the owner is a QAnon weirdo, and I'm like, even if it's safe, I don't want to give that weirdo money. Is that kind of also what you're thinking?
Yeah. Like, yes. If you're someone who thinks COVID is a hoax,
right?
But this is now years of me knowing these people. Oh, wow. Has this been going on the whole time and I just didn't know?
Yeah.
No, you need to ask, and I need you to call me and tell me after, because now this is going to keep me up at night. You need to be like, excuse me, what? What did you say?
Right.
You meant to say we are wearing masks, right? Maybe they just left out the R.
But to Jackie's point, like the idea of changing, especially now and starting up a new relationship, and
Sure.
I don't think
it's
I'm not going to do it
stressful.
this year.
Because your history is so important,
Right.
When you're
Right.
doing,
Yes.
when you're in April doing your April appointment, it is. There's a lot to it. So it's stressful.
Is anyone listening frustrated, being like, what are they talking about? I feel like everyone knows at this point.
Yeah, I think I was probably the last person to figure it out.
Well,
I think
I
all
really
of the
gave it
listeners
away.
did, and then me.
Although, serious question that I don't know is, in other countries, is it April?
Oh, I don't even know.
So I wonder
don't know.
if any international
Yeah.
listeners
Oh,
are
yeah.
Oh.
Allison, my April person does cover a lot of podcast people. I would be happy to do an introduction. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I should ask you afterwards about your April person.
Yeah, they do. Another podcaster recommended them to me. So,
Because it is its own. There's no code yet for podcaster. Like, there's like a code.
Right.
right.
So last year, my April person put me as internet personality. I guess there is a code
influencer.
for that. Yeah.
I don't know what I am. Like, I think just entertainer or something.
Yeah, entertainer.
I'm a truth teller. I speak truth. I speak
Is
truth
that
to power.
W-2 or 1099? Truth teller?
Right? Yeah, I'm a independent contractor when it comes to speaking truth to power.
Independent truth teller, honey.
Yes. I'm not part of a larger truth-telling organization. I can make my own hours. It's nice.
Speaking of truth, if you want to hear the truth about a lot of stuff, patreon.com/Allison Rosen. Additionally, Jackie and I did a crossover. We both do Zoom parties where you can join us via Zoom, and it is quite a party.
Whoa, cool.
And we did a crossover, and Jackie gave me a quiz from a 90s or actually 2000s magazine, and it was super duper fun. And we do all sorts of, there's just so much fun stuff. You can't even handle the fun. And I would like to say hello and welcome to my new patrons, Julie B., Matt M., and Aaron T. And also just a question to all the patrons. For some reason, I like to preserve anonymity. It's like we're at a 12-step meeting. So I just say people's last initial. Would you prefer to have your full name first and last read? Because I can totally switch to that. Let me know. Also, I want to tell you guys about some stuff. My Amazon shop. I have spent so much time curating all my different lists. Jackie right now is holding up the Taylor Company candle in Bless Your Heart, which this candle was a plot point on a recent episode of Alison Rosen's New Best Friend. But sight unseen, I purchased this candle because Jackie had talked it up so much. And I already burned through the whole candle. It does smell that good.
And I bought it out of your store.
That's right.
I put
it.
Oh, I got to get one. I love a scented candle.
You should get one. I recently ordered 4 more Taylor Company candles in the little votives. I'm trying out different scents.
You better tell us because the names are all so cute. I want to know what they all smell like.
Right now, I'm enjoying a fleur-de-lis scented one, and it's kind of fruity. It's like peachy. I like
love
it.
That.
It's good. But anyway, so that's in my store on Amazon, all my podcasting gear, all my beauty stuff, kids stuff, home stuff. Go to amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen, amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen. My Monday guest this week is a friend of the podcast and everyone here, Allie Ward. YouTube.com/Alison Rosen if you want to see that video and just listen, obviously, wherever you listen. The week before, I had Bobby Moynihan. I also just had Phil Rosenthal. So if you like what you're hearing, please, I beg of you, I'm on my hands and knees. I'm begging, leave a review, please, because it helps people find the show, and make sure you are subscribed. 5 stars is my favorite number. Also, do I even need to mention Patreon again? Because I just mentioned it so many times. And also, I'm on Cameo. Those are all my things. And also Childish with Greg Fitzsimmons. Jackie.
You just got Fitz-dogged.
Jackie, where might we find you and what should we look for?
I have a Patreon as well, patreon.com/Jackie Johnson. And we have a good time. Yeah, we have a good time there. Allison and I, we might do more crossovers. It's sort of like a personal place where I tell more personal stories and anecdotes and share parts of my life I don't talk about on Attribute. I am going to post my wedding video when I get it back.
Ooh.
Aww. So, Jordan, I'll send you a link. So that's my Patreon.
You can watch my wedding for
why not?
$5 a month.
Yeah, Natchbute is every Thursday. It's my beauty podcast, and we interview all kinds of people, authors, writers, funny people, makeup artists, people in the makeup business, or beauty founders, everybody. We have a good time over there. And my April person says I'm an internet personality, so you might want to check that out.
Wonderful. I forgot to say follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Alison Rosen, so please do that. Jordan, what about you?
I've mentioned it before on the podcast, but I'm just going to keep fucking mentioning it.
Do it.
I have a graphic novel that I co-wrote coming out in July. It is called Bubble. It is based on the scripted podcast that we did. There's a drop for it and everything. Look at that. It's a sci-fi comedy. It's got robots, monsters, gore, sex jokes, NSFW. The great artist Tony Cliff did the art. I co-wrote it with Sarah Morgan. The great comedy writer out of the UK, and I'm really proud of it, and I hope people read it. You can pre-order it, and if you've ever had a book come out, you know that pre-orders are very important. You can do that at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or better yet, your local independent bookstore. And if you tell me what local independent bookstore you ordered it at, if you want to get at me on Twitter or Instagram or something and tell me your local indie that you pre-ordered Bubble at, I'll shout them out on Jordan Jesse Go. So helps the bookstore, helps the book, helps America. Yes. All 3.
Yes. And Tony, what about you?
Just my normal stuff. Twitter and Instagram at.
Tony Thaxton.
And my podcast, Bizarre Albums, every Tuesday. This week is about a Mr. T album, so that's going to be fun. Check that out.
I listened to your Burt Reynolds episode the other day and just loved it. That Burt Reynolds album is so weird.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun. Jackie, congratulations.
Yes.
Very happy for you. Listeners, I love you. You matter. Thank you for listening. I love you. I said it twice, but I got out of order. I love you thrice. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go.